Hello, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Olvey again, and we are going to work on Chapter 1, Lesson 2, Read and Write Numbers. The directions say read and write the number in two other forms. Now, I put the sample problem on here because they very nicely tell us two of the forms, standard form and expanded form. Those are two of the number forms, and the other number form is word form. So for number 1, they wrote the number in word form, then they wrote it in standard form, and the word standard usually means regular, normal, so they wrote the number in the form that just you would write it as a number normally. And then expanded form. The word expanded means to stretch out. So they wrote the number place value by place value, and they stretched it out looking at the value of each digit. So when we look at number 2, that's written in standard form. It's written just like we would write a number if we were doing a math problem, right? So we have to write it in two other forms. So let's start with expanded form, because here's a nice example of expanded form down here, right? Okay, so we go one place value at a time, and boom, we start with the 3, and the 3 is in the hundred thousands place. So 3, and then 0, 0, comma, 0, 0, 0. So this number has just as many digits as this number above. 300,000 is the value of that 3. And then we're going to jump over to the 1 plus. And that 1 is in the 10,000s place, so we're going to write 10,000 plus. Okay? Then we're going to go to the 4. Next number over. The 4 is in the thousands place, so we're going to put it as 4,000 because that's the value of a 4 in the thousands place. Then we put a plus. Now if you notice when I write this, I'm keeping everything lined up because it's easy for me to make sure I'm writing the number the right way. I have the comma all in the same place. You don't have to do it that way, but you can if you want to. And then we go over to the 2. That 2 is in the hundreds place. So I'm going to write 200 plus. Now we go to the tens place, and there's a 0 in the tens place. So there is the digit 0 there, which means the tens place doesn't have any value, so we can just skip that one. So the tens place would go there, but there's nothing there. So I'm going to go boop over to the ones place and put the 7. So we've just written 314,207 in expanded form. And now we're going to write it in word form. And my writing on here is not perfect, so be patient with me, okay? I'm going to start over here so I can fit it all. So I have to write 314, because the comma is right there. 314,000. 314,000. Oh my goodness. 314,000, put a comma there, comma. Okay, wherever there's a comma in a number, like up here, you're going to say a word that's not a number. You're going to say a word that's thousand or million or billion. Okay, so when you get to a comma, you have to go, uh-oh, what do I have to say there? So like up here, you go 314,000, and then what's the rest of it? 207. Oh, I'm going to have to squishy it down here. 207. Okay? So you can hit pause if you need to finish writing, or you can just go to the next slide, okay? All right, I'm just moving on now to number 4 and 5. Now, it's really important to use, to read the directions because they tell you a certain number that you have to work with, okay? It says, use the number. Now, remember what Mrs. Olvey said about the commas here, okay? I know that I have to say a word when I get to that comma. So I'm just going to start and I'm just going to say, oh, 913, there's a comma, 1,256. So 913,256 is what's going to be used in 4, 5, and 6. Number 4, write the name of the period that has the digits 913. Now the periods are the 3-digit clusters that are separated by commas. Okay, so we just said a second ago that we said 1,000 when we used that comma. So 913 is in the thousands period or cluster of 3. Thousands. Okay. On to number 5. Write the digit in the 10,000s place. Now I want you to notice, guys, it just says to write the digit. It doesn't say write the value of it or anything like that. So guess what? You're going to be writing one number. Boom, that's it. But we have to find the 10,000s place. Ones, tens, hundreds. So what's that one? Thousands. Bing, bing, bing. 10,000s. And if you kept going, 100,000s. But we're just worried about the 10,000s place now. So 1. Well, that was pleasant. Okay, so you can pause and do number 6, or you can go to the next slide if you want to. Okay. All right, guys. I have gone to the back where we have the lesson check. Okay. Number 1, I'm going to read it to you. Based on a 2008 study, children 6 through 11 years old spend 69,108 minutes a year watching television. What is this number written in standard form? Well, I have to go back. Like I say, I always have to go reread. Okay, let's see here. Based on a 2008 study, children 6 through 11 years old spend, okay, here comes the number. I think I'm going to underline it. 69,108. 69,108. Okay. You see that comma and the word thousand? Right before that, you see the word 69. So I know if I look at these choices, I'm going to have the number 69 and then a comma. Let's look at A. No. B, do you see 69 and a comma? Yeah. So that's a possibility. Well, let's put an X by A. Well, look at C. Is that a possibility? There's 69 and a comma. That's a possibility. And then D, 69 and a comma? No. That's 690,000. Okay. All right. So now we have to choose between B and C. So if you go back up into the problem, 69,000, we got that. 108. So then you look at the part after the comma, 108. Is that 108 or is that 108? Bing, 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 bing. Ah, B. Okay. Now on to number 2. What is the value of the digit 4 in the number 84,230? Now remember, boys and girls, the value is how much it's worth. All right, so let's see. Where's the 4? Right there. So the 4 is in, let's do your place values, ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. So what is that 4 worth? 4 thousands. All right. I'm going to do a couple more so you can pause if you want to catch up. All right, here we go. All right, boys and girls, I am down at the spiral review. I'm going to do number 3 and number 4. And then don't forget that you have to do the rest of the homework page if your teacher has assigned that to you. Okay? Number 3, an ant has 6 legs. How many legs do 8 ants have in all? An ant has 6 legs. Okay? How many legs do 8 ants have in all? Oh, okay, so 6 ants, 6, 8 sets of 6 legs. 8 sets of 6 legs, right? 8 ants, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They each have 6 legs, okay? 8 sets of 6, so 6 times 8. If you have to think about that, you can either do your 6s or your 8s. You can write them down like 6, 12, 18, blah, 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 blah. Or you can write 8, 16, 24. Okay? So 6 times 8. Here's how I like to do 6 times 8. I'm going to write it down here for you. I think about 5 times 8 because I'm really good at my 5s. I know that 5 times 8 is 40. Okay? So 6 times 8, it's not 5 groups of 8, it's 6 groups of 8. So if I have another group of 8, it's 48. All right, number 4. Latricia's vacation is in 4 weeks. There are 7 days in a week. How many days is it until Latricia's vacation? Okay, so she has 4 weeks and there are 7 days in each week. Aha. This is sets of, again, isn't it, boys and girls? Okay. 4 weeks, 4 groups of 7 weeks. So what's 4 times 7? How many days until Latricia's vacation? How do you do this one, boys and girls? 4 times 7. Well, you could just memorize it. Always a choice. Another way is, do you know what 2 times 7 is? I know 2 times 7 because I'm good at my 2's. 2 times 7 is 14. So what I know is that 4 is the double of 2. So if I double how many sets of 7 I have, I can double 14. If 2 times 7 is 14, 4 times 7 is 28, right? So I can use my 2's to do my 4's. If you know 2 times 7 is 14, you can double the 14 and get 4 times 7. All right? Awesome job, boys and girls. I'll see you soon.